Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. My name is Brendan Murphy. I have the honor of serving as the Chief Magistrate Judge, and I bring you greetings from the 90 women and men that make up the People's Court of Cobb County. Thank you so much for coming to the 2024 installation of officers and leadership team for the Georgia Association of Black Women Attorneys. Give yourself a hand, please. Judge Edmondson Cooper, the president designate that will be sworn in today, was very wise because she did not ask me to recognize folks by name. That distinction has fallen to my good friend, Judge Ashley Palmer. And so I'm so glad that Judge Palmer is going to be handling that for us today. But in all seriousness, we have to acknowledge one name. We have to acknowledge one name that is not here, one name that has gone to her reward. And that is this body, for those that don't know, lost her fourth president. This bar lost a great light, and that's Attorney Avarita Hanson. And so we must recognize, as we get these festivities underway, who is not here and who blazed the trail. And so I did want to recognize her by name. It's a very special night to welcome you to Cobb County, whereas our chairwoman says, we're all in. We're all in Cobb County. And so what all in means is everybody is welcome. And that is whether you are pink and green. Please don't worry. Crimson and red. Please don't worry. Crimson and cream, close enough. Do we, Tanisha's gonna kill me. All right. Do we have any blue and gold? Any blue and gold? Okay. Blue and white, anybody? I got you all. I got everybody. All right. And to my chairwoman, when I walked into this new courtroom with these lights, they promised me it was cheaper than regular lights. So I got my budget meeting tomorrow. I got to be clear. But in all seriousness, it's a historic night for our community. It's my understanding that obviously many wonderful lawyers who are present, who are Cobb Countyans, have served as president of this body, but this event has never been held in this community. And I think it recognizes the progress this community has made. We have 3 Black women in our Superior Court, all who are present. I call them the Magistrate Court Alumni Chapter. Thank you. All had served with us. But thank you. I messed up the cream, but I'm getting there. All right. We have got our state court judges. We've got Black women serving on our state court, and of course, many Black women serving here at the Magistrate Court. And so choosing to have this event here recognizes that this community is all in for our entire community. And so I very much appreciate that. And of course, it's a special night for all of the officers and the president designate one of our own judges, Judge Edmondson Cooper. The tagline of access, equity, and justice represents this woman's career. It represents the mission of this court, and it recognizes the mission of this body. So with that, I welcome you. Welcome to the installation. Welcome to Cobb County. Welcome to the People's Court. And now I'd like to call up my good friend, my classmate, my bar president, Carlos Rodriguez, to provide further welcome.
Thank you, Judge Murphy. Thank you, Judge Edmondson Cooper, for inviting me. I'm flattered. On behalf of the Cobb County Bar Association, let me welcome everyone. I don't have the wherewithal to play with that remote control, but this is special in that what makes the Cobb County Bar Association's brand strong is that we share members with folks like you that are in GABWA, that are exceptional ambassadors for the legal profession and exceptional ambassadors for this community. So I know that you did not come here to hear me. And so I will turn it over to some other fellow exceptional ambassadors of the Cobb Bar and GABWA, Judge Sonia Brown and Judge Ashley Palmer.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Judge Sonia Brown, and I have the privilege and pleasure of serving as one of the 11 Superior Court judges here in Cobb County. And I also have the pleasure of serving as the 28th president of GABWA, and I was installed 15 years ago. And I was introduced to GABWA by someone, as Judge Murphy mentioned her, very, very special to all of us, our fourth president, Averita L. Hansen. And Averita earned her reward on Monday. And so I would be remiss if I did not offer up at least a moment of silence to recognize her and recognize the work that she did in GABWA and in the legal community as a whole. So if you would join me in a moment of silence to recognize who is affectionately known as Mama Rita to all of us. Thank you very much. And now if you will join me in prayer. Gracious and loving God, thank you for the opportunity to be present in this place and in this space as we come together this evening to offer up praise and thanksgiving for the Georgia Association of Black Women Attorneys, whom we affectionately call GABWA. Our dear GABWA was founded 43 years ago to focus on women and children's issues, to increase Black female representation in the judiciary and public office, and to take a proactive stance on political issues. As GABWA members, we strive to fulfill her mission to nurture, support, and galvanize the power of Black women attorneys, advocate for women and children, and to empower our communities. So we pray, Lord, that you will continue to bless the work of all who labor and endeavor to use their gifts and talents to serve you and to be in service to others. We pray for our 2024 President, Judge Jana Edmondson Cooper, and the entire leadership team who have responded to the awesome call to lead. Let them be reminded that they are servant leaders and are called to lead with respect, reverence, and from a position of power that necessitates that they remain humble so they can follow your example of serving the least of those amongst us. Bless the work of GABWA and all of her members, and let us ever be mindful to do what we have been commissioned to do. That is to do what is right, to love mercy and kindness, and to walk humbly with our God, setting aside any overblown sense of importance or self-righteousness that we should never have if we desire to serve you and to serve you well. With giving respect to every religion that is represented here today, in my faith tradition, I offer this prayer in the name of Jesus. And everyone said amen, amen. And amen, and amen.
Good evening, everyone. I am Judge Ashley Palmer. I have the honor of serving on the Cobb State Court, and I want to thank our soon-to-be installed GABWA president for allowing me this opportunity to recognize all the very special people in this room, and you are all very special. And so there are some elected officials and dignitaries that I want to give special note to. So when you hear your name or category called, please stand for me. So our Cobb County Board of Commissioners, I saw our chairwoman. If any of our other commissioners are here, please stand. Our county manager, Dr. Jackie McMorris, if you are here. Okay. We have representatives from our Cobb County Sheriff's Office, and on behalf of the judiciary, we love them very much. I know Chief Hawkins is here, Chief, and Chief Deputy Rhonda Anderson. We have our Cobb County District Attorney, Flynn Brody. Is our clerk of the Superior Court. I'm not sure if I saw Clerk Taylor, Connie Taylor. I see you. Thank you, Judge. Our Cobb County Tax Commissioner, Carla Jackson. And we have our Cobb County State Court Clerk, Robin Bishop, and her deputy, Rochelle Taylor. Our members of the judiciary, I'm going to start, if we have any members, and I know we do, from our federal bench, please stand. Thank you, Judge Lampley Fortson. We have former or current members of our Georgia Supreme Court. Please stand. Members of our Georgia Court of Appeals, please stand. Members of our Cobb County Superior Court, please stand. My wonderful colleagues from the State Court of Cobb County, please stand. Members of the Cobb County Probate Court, please stand. Members of our Juvenile Court, please stand. And our host for the evening, the Magistrate Court of Cobb County, please stand. We also have with us members from our State Bar of Georgia leadership and local bar leadership. We heard from Carlos, but if any others are here, please stand. We also wish to recognize our Cobb NAACP President, Ms. Jareen Grimes Willis. Please stand. Our GABWA founders and founding members. Ladies, please stand. Our GABWA past presidents, please stand. Members of our 2024 GABWA leadership team, would you please stand, our incoming board? Ladies from our GABWA Foundation Board, please stand. And last but certainly not least, if I could have the members of Madam President Judge Janet Edmondson Cooper's family to please stand. Again, your presence here honors all of us. I know it honors Judge Edmondson Cooper. It warms my heart to be able to have introduced you all. I hope you all enjoy this special evening. Thank you.
Good evening. I am Rita Treadwell. I am the current president of the Georgia Association of Black Women Attorneys Foundation Board, and I am the 37th past president of GABWA. I bring you greetings from the foundation and welcome. When Black women build an organization, the Black community will always take center stage. GABWA was formed to create a place that unapologetically nurtured the careers of Black women lawyers. The clarion call was and still very much is, am I my sister's keeper? GABWA's response has never wavered, yes, I am. In 1983, the GABWA Scholarship Foundation was born, a mere 2 years after GABWA, to help fund the mission of creating a pipeline to increase the numbers of Black women lawyers in the state of Georgia. With each succeeding year, additional charitable programs were added to serve specific needs of women and children of Georgia. The GABWA Foundation has continued to move the needle forward with our signature programs, providing funds to Black female law students, connecting and serving our community via the Community Health Fair, its nationally award-winning programs, the Sister to Sister Mentoring Program, and the Civil Wills Pro Bono Project, which Judge Ashley Palmer directs. What is the impact of these charitable programs? In the last 40 years, we have raised over $600,000 in scholarships. We awarded $65,000 in scholarships in 2023 alone. We have changed the lives of more than 1,200 at-risk teenage girls. We have assisted the elderly and the terminally ill by partnering with Atlanta Legal Aid and Thank Me Later to provide wills and healthcare directives at no cost. We have potentially saved the lives through screenings given at our community health fair. We as Black women stand undaunted in the face of so many challenges. That was a nod to your Spelman College, meant to render us powerless. On the shoulders of our founders, our founding members, and our past presidents, lifting one another when we falter, making sure our sister's crown is on and upright. We celebrate our collective triumphs. We continue to serve as dynamic disruptors and as justice seekers. President Edmondson Cooper, I send you and wish you heartfelt congratulations. You were Gavois raised. We expect great things from you, but understand that we are here for you. We will support you and lift you as you spend this year growing your muscle and leadership. We had a call recently, and I told you to take a moment to reflect on who you were right now, today, as you began your presidential year. And then at the end, to take a moment and to reflect who you've become. I wish you well, and I love you.
Thank you so much for the honor of swearing in the committee chairs, the section heads, the officers, and the president of the 2024 class of Gavois. I was the first Gavois president. There was none of this. I'm serious. We were in my living room at my house, and it was about 5 of us. A vote was taken. I was voted in for 2 years, and that we got on with it. That was okay. So this is something, and it was 5 of us. All right, with the committee chairs, co-chairs, and section heads, please stand in your place as your name is called. Okay, Bernice Lawrence Watkins, Entertainment Chair. Shamir Trimble, Family Chair. Christy Barnes, In-House Council Chair. Deidre Fenwick, Trial Masters Boot Camp Chair. Rena Felton, Glitter Gala and Auction Chair. Avita Gillard, Sections Chair. Angela Brown, Judges Elected and Appointed Officials Chair. Liz Broadway Brown, Large Firm Chair. Marcy Campbell Hill, Secretary and Elections Committee Chair. Mystical Studaway, Community Service Chair. Natalie Kelly, Government Public Interest Chair. Natasha Banks, Judicial Review Committee Chair. Olivia Smith, Estate Planning Probate Chair. Tiana Bias, Solo Small Firm Practice Chair. Tramel Howard, Labor and Employment Chair. Tyra Walker, Wellness Chair. Tyshawn Jackson, Awards and Scholarship Chair. Winter Wheeler, Legal Education Chair. Yasmin Cunningham, Student Programs Chair. Dia Warren, Student Programs Co-Chair. Lindsay Phillips, Glitter Gala and Auction Co-Chair. Tamisha Stanford, Community Service Co-Chair. Vanessa Francois, Glitter Gala and Auction Co-Chair. And last, Whitney Knox Lee, Woman to Woman Co-Chair. Would you all please raise your right hands and repeat after me? As a committee or section head of the Georgia Association of Black Women Attorneys for 2024, do you pledge to fulfill your responsibilities to Gavois and to conduct yourselves in the best interest of the membership and the needs that Gavois serves? Will you protect the human rights and dignity of all people affected by this organization and oppose discrimination and exploitation? If so, please signify by saying, I will. I will. Congratulations, and I wish each and every one of you success. Okay, would the incoming officers please come and make a line right here? It's a smaller group. Okay. I'll read their names as they come up. Amber Brantley, Vice Chair Augusta. Amber Jones King, Vice Chair Communications. Alicia Hargrove, Vice Chair Membership. Jillian Kroll Parrish, Vice President. Joy Smith, Student Member at Large. Maria Banjo, Political Action Committee. Rajeen Bray, President-elect. Stephanie Bonner Wiggins, Assistant Treasurer. Tanisha Perryman, Treasurer. Tamika West Bernard, Parliamentarian. Did I miss anybody? Okay, excellent. I got her, I thought. Yeah, I think I did. That's right. I got you. Okay, so would you please raise your right hands? And as an officer of the Georgia Association of Black Women Attorneys for 2024, do you pledge to fulfill your responsibilities to GABWA for 2024 and to conduct yourselves in the best interests of the membership and the others that GABWA serves? Will you fulfill your responsibilities with loyalty and care and not to advance your own interest? If you will, please signify by saying, I will. I will. Congratulations, and I wish each and every one of you success. Judge Edmondson, if you'll please come and stand over here. Come closer. Okay. All right. You raise your right hands. As the president of the Georgia Association of Black Women Attorneys for 2024.
And just 2024.
I get it. Okay. Do you pledge to fulfill your responsibilities to GABWA and to conduct yourself in the best interest of the membership as well as the others GABWA serves? Will you exercise your duties according to the principles of GABWA, recognizing that your behavior must set an example of integrity, eliciting trust and esteem from all you serve, from members to the donors to the public? If so, please signify by saying, I will.
I will.
Congratulations, Madam.
Good evening to the women that comprise GABWA's historical leadership, members of the judiciary, Cobb County public officials, all other public officials, special guests, family, and friends. As the Georgia Association of Black Women Attorneys embarks on its 43rd year of service under the theme Access, Equity, and Justice, I couldn't think of anyone more suited to galvanize and take the helm of this historic organization than my sister, the Honorable Jana Jody Edmondson Cooper. Not only are we best friends, but we are also sorority sisters, colleagues in the law, boy moms, and the daughters of Mr. and Mrs. Jim and Jody Edmondson. When Jana first asked me to introduce her during this evening's installation, I thought I'd go the mushy route and share some personal tidbits. You know, go for the really ugly cry. But I decided against it. I would have shared, had I gone that route, that Jana Jody Edmondson Cooper is the youngest of 3 girls born to Mr. and Mrs. Edmondson, who themselves were born in a rural farming town in the Jim Crow South and who are also here tonight. I would have shared that Jana was purposely named after our mother, Mabel Jody Edmondson, a force to be reckoned with, an educator, an entrepreneur, a caretaker, a politician, and a friend. Had I gone down that other path, I would have told you that Jana wanted to be a judge from an early age. But never mind, I won't share that. I could have also shared that our father, who is our Superman, he's our provider, our protector, our consigliere, cheerleader, and also a caregiver, supported us both through college and law school. He even gave Jana a picture of Constance Baker Motley after she graduated from law school. I would have told you how Jana set a goal and then works hard to achieve it, how she doesn't give up, just like our 80-plus-year-old parents instilled in us. I could also introduce you to Jana's why, her husband and her son, who are also here this evening, or her only nephew, Daniel James, who she adores and pours into every chance that she gets. Instead, I thought about Jana, who she is and what she represents. I thought about the firecracker that entered this world back in 1983. This last child that joined the Edmondson family, her birth was very significant in that my parents already had me. But I was also in my last year of junior high school. They also had another daughter who was about to enter junior high school. Even back then, Jana had a way of bringing our family closer together. I also thought about how when I left to come to Atlanta for college, Jana was only 3 years old. But that didn't deter the bond that we built and we continue to build today. As I reflected on our bond, I realized that Jana also shares a bond with Black trailblazers from 1983 that also embodied this year's Gabwa theme of access, equity, and justice. When we talk about access, Vanessa Williams immediately comes to mind. She's the very embodiment of access. In 1983, she forged a path and became the first African-American Miss America to be crowned. It was 62 years after the annual competition first started. Just like Vanessa Williams, my sister is beautiful on the outside, but more importantly, she is drop dead gorgeous on the inside. Like Vanessa Williams, my sister is very talented. In fact, she and my mother killed the karaoke contest this past Thanksgiving. When we think of equity, I went to Merriam-Webster, who says that equity is freedom from bias or favoritism, dealing fairly and equally with all concerned, recognizing that we do not start from the same place and must acknowledge and adjust for those inconsistencies and imbalances. When I think of equity, when I think of not starting all from the same place, I cannot help but think of Lieutenant Colonel Guyon S. Bluford. In 1983, Lieutenant Colonel Bluford was the first Black U.S. astronaut to enter space, 22 years after the U.S. first sent an astronaut to space. Like Lieutenant Colonel Bluford, President-elect Edmondson Cooper is a trailblazer. In 2022, she was appointed as one of the youngest African-American magistrate judges here in Cobb County. In 2023, she was named by the Atlanta Business Chronicle as one of their 40 under 40, not to mention numerous other accolades and achievements. Justice. Some of us may remember that in 1983, Alice Walker won the Pulitzer Prize and the American Book Award for one of Jana's favorite books, The Color Purple. The Color Purple is set in the early 1900s and depicts injustices such as sexism, racism, domestic violence, and teenage pregnancy. It has since been made into 2 movies and a Broadway musical. When we think of The Color Purple, we can't help but also think of the mission of GABWA: to nurture, support, and galvanize the power of Black women attorneys, advocate for women and children, and empower our communities. Who better to lead our organization in achieving this mission than the Honorable Jana Jody Edmondson Cooper? She is ever present, ever ready, and everywhere, leading by example and trying to help the least among us. In closing, I will share Jana's mantra, the very essence of who she is, a quote by Marion Wright Edelman. "Service is the rent we pay for being. It is the very purpose of life, and not something you do in your spare time." Let us all join President-elect Edmondson Cooper and work together with GABWA in service to the community, the profession, and each other. I'm thrilled to see Jana lead this important organization. I know she will make her mark and leave it for the better, all the while staying true to this year's theme: access, equity, and justice. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of the program.
This is my family, so I can say shut up. Good evening. Let me find one that's not stapled together. Here you go. I have only 3 copies of my remarks tonight. Determined, smart, dedicated, talented. Those were some of the first impressions I had of our newly installed president, Jana Edmondson Cooper, when I first met her so many years ago. Then she was a staff attorney with GLSP, the Georgia Legal Services Program. Ultimately, she served 10 years there, bringing her bilingual skills to represent and serve indigent clients in rural Georgia, many of whom were limited English proficient in family law, housing law, consumer law, education law, health law, wills and estates, and public benefit matters. Her name had been coming up a lot in the state bar circles that I traveled in at that time, related largely to the innovative work she was doing for and in partnership with access to justice initiatives throughout the country to overcome language barriers and similar access issues affecting underrepresented and underserved populations. She was working hard and diligently to increase access to the courts by all members of our community, state, and country. Since my initial encounter with Jana, those impressions have remained, along with the further lasting impressions that my growing relationship with her has left on me, like caring, compassion, and being all in. I have had the pleasure of watching many new moms and their families grow through our Georgia Association of Black Women Attorneys. I have watched Jana raise her beautiful son with her wonderful husband. I have watched her lovingly and patiently support her aging parents. I've been in her home and witnessed firsthand the priorities she sets to care for and support her loved ones, including her family and close friends. Following her groundbreaking national access to justice work while at GLSP, Jana served as a bilingual senior trial attorney at the United States Department of Labor, Office of the Solicitor, where she prosecuted complex labor and employment enforcement matters on behalf of the Secretary of Labor. There, she focused on cases involving violations of the Fair Labor Standards Act, I don't know what that is. Provisions of the Immigration and Nationality Act, I'm being honest. The occupation, but it has quotes around it, so I felt like I needed to do that. The Occupational Safety and Health Act, the Mine Safety and Health Act, and other federal labor laws. In 2021, Jana received the Secretary of Labor's Willard Wirtz Award, a national award that recognized exceptional performance and accomplishments in public service that exemplify accountability, responsibility, and emerging leadership skills, and that display the promise of future leadership in the spirit of former Secretary of Labor Willard Wirtz. Many of you are aware of Jana's many accomplishments, exemplary skills, and enduring dedication to public service, all of which undoubtedly led to her appointment to the bench as a Cobb County Magistrate Judge in 2022. However, did you know that she continues to serve publicly and in community service efforts off the bench as well? For the past 5 years, thanks to Jana, who encouraged me to join the Marriott chapter of a particular sorority, I have watched her servant leadership displayed in our chapter on a monthly basis. Anyone who knows Jana knows she does nothing halfway. She leads with her whole heart and her whole mind. Jana does not shirk responsibility. She takes any commitment that she has made seriously, applying the same level of dedication and excellence that she has brought to her legal career and to the bench. Jana will surely propel Gabbwa in 2024 to greater heights, building on the successful foundation of each of the Gabbwa past presidents who came before her. I am very grateful that Jana has stepped up to lead this voluntary bar association with its very, very, very unique membership. All the past presidents in this room know exactly what I'm talking about. Under her leadership and with the support and efforts of her executive board and committee chairs, our organization will continue its ongoing mission to nurture, support, and galvanize the power of Black women attorneys, to advocate for women and children, and to empower our communities. I look forward to seeing what Gabbwa will accomplish in 2024, and I look forward to working with and supporting our new president. After we have a special performance by the members of the Spelman College Glee Club, join me in welcoming the 2024 president of the Georgia Association of Black Women Attorneys, Jana Edmondson Cooper.
It's my choice, and I choose to change the world. It's my voice, and I speak with pride and courage. I'll be the change I want to see. I'll scream out loud and say, it's my voice, and I choose to change the world. Why put off for tomorrow what I can do today? Why wait for another when I can pave the way? No matter how young or old, I hold the power of change. Whether large or small, few or all, my choice remains the same. choice, and I choose to change the world. It's my voice, and I speak with pride and courage. I'll be the change I want to see. I'll scream out loud and say, it's my choice, and I choose to change the world. Within this institution, we are women of change. The shoulders that we stand upon never received applause or fame. So in their honor, I will live each day better than before, to show the world that it takes a choice to choose yourself and so much more. It's my choice, and I choose to change the world. It's my voice, and I speak with pride and courage. I'll be the change I wanna see. I'll scream out loud and say, it's my choice, and I choose to change the world. The change begins today with every choice that we make. Let us look around and see where the changes need to be. Let's end poverty, fighting overseas. Another dies from a disease. End hypocrisy, starving on the streets, and no one does a single thing. It's my choice, and I choose to change the world. It's my voice, and I speak with pride and courage. I'll be the change I want to see. I'll scream out loud and say, it's my choice, 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 it's my choice. So make a choice, make a choice, make a choice. So what is your choice? What's your choice? It's my choice, and I choose to change the world. Change the world.
Please give another round of applause for my Spelman College classmate, Nicole Boddington, and members of the Spelman College Glee Club. Y'all knew I was going to bring Spelman in here. I had to. All right. I'm sure there's a bet on how fast I'm going to cry. All right. Good evening. I am taking this moment in because if I'm being honest, I never thought I was going to stand here. And I first want to acknowledge Gabwa's founders, founding members, again, our past presidents, Chief Judge Murphy, my judicial colleagues, all public officials, the hard-working men and women of the Cobb County Sheriff's Office. Thank you so very much for making sure that we are safe, not just tonight, but all of the time. All in attendance this evening in support of Gabwa, all of the program participants. And I want to give special acknowledgement to Gabwa's Vice President, Jillian Kroll Parrish, Vice President of Membership, Alicia Hargrove, Treasurer Tatanisha Perryman, Gabwa member Yolvandra Martin Brown, and GABWA member Jamie Rush for your invaluable contributions to bringing this installation together and helping to get it executed. Anyone who knows GABWA is a force, and while I stand as president, I do not stand alone. There is nothing that I do that is by myself. It is because I have the support of the women in this room and many who weren't able to make it this afternoon. So know that I appreciate you for all that you do. I am honored and privileged to stand before you this evening as the 43rd president of the Georgia Association of Black Women Attorneys. As I mentioned, I stand here not alone and not as one, but as a representative on the shoulders of my ancestors, my family, GABWA historical leadership, and the many who have nurtured and supported me personally and professionally. When I think about my GABWA journey, many are surprised to hear that I definitely did not start out with this as a goal. In fact, I ran from it. I'd ever so politely, in my mind, do a neo one of these whenever a mentor or someone would even mention, when are you going to offer yourself up for service? We're waiting on you. Or just very candidly, girl, what you doing? Because in my mind, the women that I had seen who had stood in these shoes, they were not mere mortals. They were superheroes. I did not know how they had done it. I stood in awe of them, particularly when I would meet them for the first time and they may say, oh yeah, it's nice to meet you. I said, oh, you know who I am. And so I am taking in tonight, but I am here with the utmost humility and GABWA and humility and gratitude for, as Madam Foundation President put it, I am indeed GABWA raised. And I'm so grateful to have had these women in my life since the inception of my legal career over almost 15 years ago. My journey with GABWA started officially serving on the board under the leadership of GABWA's 30th president, past President Jamala McFadden. I started out in the Macon Regional Chapter. At that time, I was a bilingual staff attorney with Georgia Legal Services Program. And if you know me or you remember, I burned up I-75 between Macon and Atlanta so much that folks thought I actually lived in Atlanta. But I was actually living in Macon. And then I relocated here in 2016, and my car finally got a little bit of a rest. And some people may wonder, well, why would you keep going back and forth if you didn't live here? Because there was something special about GABWA that I wanted to be a part of, but more so that I wanted to contribute to. As you've heard from some folks, I'm either all in or I'm not in at all. And GABWA was something that had first poured into me and had been all into me. And I can never repay her back. And so the only way that I could pay it forward was to be of service. And so I offered myself with some nudging of some folks. Along that journey, I'd also meet late past President Avarita Laurel Hanson, whose name you have heard tonight. I never thought I would be standing here, but if and when I did, I never thought that she would not be here when I did. Mama Rita, as so many of us affectionately called her, was the walking personification of GABWA's mission to nurture, support, and galvanize the power of Black women attorneys, advocate for women and children, and empower our communities. She looked out for me and so many of us. That's why she was Mama Rita. She had a commanding and incomparable way about her. She made sure I had seats at tables that I did not know existed. She was the consummate mentor. She gave me also plenty of unsolicited advice that helped me stretch and grow as a lawyer, woman, wife, mother, and certainly as a servant leader. When I saw Avarita at the last gala that she attended, our annual Glitter Gala and Auction, at that time I was the vice president. And in her way, she came up to me and she said, so you're not going to U-turn on me, are you? You are planning to offer yourself as president-elect. And I was still hesitant at the time. And she said, "We got you. We won't let you fail because we won't let Gabwa fail. You're going to be fine." And I said, "Okay, I'm still praying." She said, "Well, pray a little faster." And then I met with her as is tradition during my planning year last year with Judge Adams and Judge Lampley Fortson. And in her true Avarita Mama Rita fashion, she gave it to me straight, no chaser. And so while she is unable to be here tonight in physical, I know that her spirit is here. I know without a doubt she is smiling down, not just on me, but on us. I know her spirit is in this room, and without a doubt that spirit will give me the strength and guide me in my service to the beloved Georgia Association of Black Women Attorneys in 2024. The theme for this year is yesterday, today, tomorrow, honoring, sustaining, furthering our perpetual legacy of increasing access, promoting equity, and advocating for justice. As I was reflecting on what I wanted to say this evening, I really wanted to be able to share, and hopefully people know who don't already, who I am at my core, not just as a professional, but as a person. And for me, access, equity, and justice are at the core of who I am. They come from my roots as the granddaughter of grandparents who grew up in rural North Carolina during segregation. I'm standing on the shoulders of ancestors that dug ditches, washed clothes, picked cotton and tobacco, so that I could stand here tonight as the first, not only a judge, but the first sitting judge to lead the Georgia Association of Black Women Attorneys. They fought in their own ways for access, equity, and they advocated for justice. I stand here on the shoulders of my parents who are with us this evening. My mother, a former public school educator, and a former elected official, and an entrepreneur. And as my sister said, a force to be reckoned with. I say, I get it from my mama. I get it from my mama. And my father, who is a retired nonprofit CEO at the time, which was the largest nonprofit, second largest nonprofit human service agency in the county that we grew up in. Yours, ours, mine. He started Yours, Ours, Mine from literally nothing. It was an abandoned grocery store, and it grew to have a multi-million-dollar budget and to service an all-white community, Levittown, that when he first got there in 1968 did not want him there because of the color of his skin. Despite coming out to slash tires, racial epithets, and threatening calls to the house, my father stayed. And later on, after I got older to understand what was happening, I asked Dad, why did you stay? He said, because I knew I could help and I was there for the children. And I knew if I stayed, even though some of the parents may have been raised with certain values, the children would see me, and it's hard to contradict what you see in living color, pun intended. And so that's the DNA that's running through my veins as to why I don't quit, as to why I value access, equity, and justice. Because my service and my desire to serve is a manifestation of my roots. My desire and my value also for access, equity, and justice is also rooted in my professional journey, starting out as a legal aid attorney with the Georgia Legal Services Program. For those who are not familiar, GLSP is a sister organization, if you will, of Atlanta Legal Aid Society, and provides legal services to low-income Georgians in 154 of 159 of Georgia's county. I racked up a lot of miles and got to see a lot of Georgia as a legal aid attorney with Georgia Legal Services Program, starting out in the Macon Regional Office, where I was responsible for the region of 23 counties, limited English proficient clients, and clients in other designated counties. My time as a legal aid attorney truly shaped me for my career. I learned how to be innovative with few resources. It opened my eyes to a lot, and it helped me to learn the importance of holistically serving a person, which I brought with me, and I'm very intentional about checking into as having a privilege of now serving on the bench. My journey with access to justice continued when I was appointed as a federal prosecutor with the U.S. Department of Labor. Again, there, I had an opportunity to increase my service footprint and to be of service. And then ultimately, in my current capacity, thank you, Chief Judge Murphy, for the opportunity to serve. And so all of that, as I thought about what is my focus for Gadbois, I had to be authentic and true to myself. Because one thing that my mother always told me growing up is there are 3 things that I should be unapologetic about. And she called them the 3 Bs. She said, you be unapologetically beautiful on the inside, unapologetically brainy, never dim your intelligence, and unapologetically Black. And so this year, as we focus on access, equity, and justice in our programming and our outreach, we will also focus on making sure that Gadbois is good at her core, because just like our bodies, your core has to be strong and maintenanced so that you can continue. And that is where that's where we are sustaining and furthering. So we will certainly honor our past by maintaining the standard of excellence. When Madam President Treadwell said, we expect great things, I knew that they're not playing with me. I already know. And I'm so honored and privileged to be in the capacity that Gadbois, that you have entrusted me with the privilege and sacred responsibility to carry us further and lead us in 2024. To the members of the 2024 leadership team, I thank you. I thank you for saying yes when I called you, when I begged, when I leaned on the shield. I did it all. But for some of you, I didn't even have to call. For many of you, you called me first. And it wasn't last year, but it was my vice president. I guess you made some assumptions. And you said, when you get ready to serve, let me know what you need, and I am here. And there have been so many of you that have said that to me, and you show up, whether you are on the leadership team or otherwise. And for that, you will never know how grateful I am. This year, I look forward, 2024 leadership team, to serving with you and growing in leadership with you. As I have shared with you at our first board meeting, I'm not above accountability. I'm not above correction. I'm not above improvement. I'm working with you and growing in leadership. I'm here to support you. I am here not only just for Gadbois, but I believe that service is a two-way street. I don't know if Judge Lampley Fortson remembers this, but when I first met her in 2010, I was a student in the Georgia Public Development Academy, spring 2010. At that time, I had failed the bar. I was struggling with having failed the bar, feeling all the emotions that you feel with that. And I was trying to get my life together. And I remember her saying, whatever you do, whatever opportunities you come, even if it's service, make sure that it keeps you relevant and marketable. And she said, I can see that you have a heart for service, but there's nothing wrong with benefiting from your service, because service is a two-way street. And so the 2024 leadership team, I'm not just only appreciative and interested in what you can do for Gadbois, but I'm interested in what Gadbois can assist you with doing, with helping to nurture and support you and to help you galvanize your own personal powers and talents. When our founders and founding members came together, it was to come together, yes, for our mission, but at the root of that was a sisterhood of support. And I firmly believe in that core value of sisterhood and support. And so I'm here, and I hope that your service in Gadbois will not only just enrich Gadbois, but it will also enrich your lives, and it will help you to soar in whatever dreams that you have. I would also be remiss before I wrap up if I didn't also acknowledge another Gadbois angel, the Honorable Barbara A. Harris, who was another founding member. I first met Judge Harris also in 2010. As I said, I was trying to get my life together. And there had been a call out on the listserv for members to go to Sparta, Georgia, I had never heard of it, to participate in a church program with teens. And so I drove out interested in the program, but I'm gonna be frank, I was trying to network. I was trying to find me a job. And so I went out and I met Judge Harris, and I met another GABWA member in here, Yovandra Martin Brown, and now Chief Magistrate Phinia Tim. And I remember meeting with them and getting connected and seeing those things. And since that time, they each would reach out and encourage, and they would nurture and support. There's also, I must acknowledge, Judge Kimberly Esmond-Adams, who I also met in 2010. 2010 was doing a lot. I met her when Judge Lampley Fortson invited her to be the speaker, our graduation speaker at PDA. And then a few short weeks later, I learned I had finally passed the bar on my second try, and I reached out to the GABWA listserv because my family was in town for Memorial Day. And I knew that they wouldn't be able to come back to see me sworn in. And so I reached out, and in minutes, Judge Adams responded, "I'll swear you in." And so that was my introduction to GABWA. Since 2010, GABWA has wrapped their collective arms around me and never let go. And for that, I am appreciative. And I come with the utmost humility and gratitude to say, I will never let you go. And it is my honor to serve as your 43rd president. I forgot the most important part. There is food. If you have to slip out, I totally understand. I appreciate you making and taking time to be here this evening. But we will have a reception down on the second floor in courtroom 203. So please, please get some food, even if you have to take it home. And I also I would be remiss if I didn't say, please join GABWA. I understand that I can say that is not a fundraiser, so I don't want any smoke with the JQC. But please do consider joining GABWA. It is very easy. We will swipe whatever you have. We'll take, if it jingles, if it folds, we'll take it. But our treasurer and our membership representative will be downstairs at a table in front of reception. Where you can either scan a QR code, or we can run your credit card. Again, we're not picky. We'll take it. Our membership is open to anyone who is willing to support our mission. So we have our Mo GABWA, our Men of GABWA, and all who support our mission. So I ask you and invite you to join GABWA. And thank you again for coming. Please be safe getting home. Thank you. And if all past presidents would